Hey there, tech enthusiasts! Today we're diving into the fascinating world of immersion cooling for CPUs. You know how your computer gets hot when you're gaming or running demanding tasks? That's because the CPU generates a lot of heat, and traditional air cooling methods can only do so much. That's where immersion cooling comes in, like a refreshing dip in a pool on a scorching summer day. Immersion cooling involves submerging your CPU, and sometimes other components, in a specially designed fluid that efficiently absorbs and dissipates heat. It's like giving your processor a luxurious bath in a high-tech liquid coolant. But before you grab your bathtub and start filling it with mineral oil, let's learn more about how this revolutionary cooling method actually works. Imagine your CPU as a hot potato fresh out of the oven. In traditional air cooling, you're essentially blowing air on that potato to cool it down. But with immersion cooling, you're dropping that potato into a pot of cold water. The fluid in immersion cooling acts like that pot of water, directly absorbing the heat generated by the CPU much more effectively than air. There are two main types of immersion cooling, single-phase and two-phase. In single-phase immersion cooling, the fluid remains in liquid form throughout the cooling process. In two-phase immersion cooling, the fluid changes phase from liquid to vapor as it absorbs heat, further enhancing the cooling efficiency. This vapor then rises to a condenser where it's converted back into liquid form, and the cycle continues. Now let's talk about why immersion cooling is making waves in the tech world. First and foremost, it's incredibly effective at keeping your CPU cool, even under heavy workloads. This means you can push your processor to its limits without worrying about overheating. Gamers, video editors, and anyone else who demands peak performance from their machines will appreciate the significant temperature reductions that immersion cooling can deliver. But the benefits don't stop there. Immersion cooling is also surprisingly quiet. Remember that noisy fan that always seems to spin up at the worst possible moment? Well, with immersion cooling, you can say goodbye to that annoying drone. The fluid effectively muffles the sound of your components, resulting in a much quieter computing experience. Another advantage of immersion cooling is its potential for energy savings. By keeping your components cooler, immersion cooling can reduce the amount of power your system consumes. This is because traditional air cooling systems often have to work overtime, consuming more energy, to maintain optimal temperatures, especially when the CPU is under heavy load. But here's the really exciting part. Immersion cooling can actually boost your computer's performance. When your CPU runs cooler, it can operate at higher clock speeds for longer periods without overheating. This means you can squeeze out more processing power from your existing hardware, potentially delaying the need for costly upgrades. The not-so-cool side drawbacks and challenges. Now, before you rush out to submerge your precious PC in a tank of liquid, let's address the elephant in the room, the drawbacks. Immersion cooling, while undeniably cool, pun intended, does come with its fair share of challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is the cost. Immersion cooling systems can be significantly more expensive than traditional air cooling solutions, especially for high-end setups. Another challenge is complexity. Setting up and maintaining an immersion cooling system requires a certain level of technical expertise. It's not as simple as slapping on a heatsink and fan. You'll need to choose the right fluid, ensure compatibility with your components, and perform regular maintenance to prevent leaks or other issues. Real-world applications, where immersion cooling shines. Despite the challenges, immersion cooling is gaining traction in various industries and applications, where performance and efficiency are paramount. For example, data centers, which house massive servers that generate enormous amounts of heat, are increasingly turning to immersion cooling to reduce their energy consumption and cooling costs. Beyond data centers, immersion cooling is also finding its way into high-performance computing, cryptocurrency mining, and even electric vehicles. In these applications, the ability to dissipate heat effectively is crucial for maintaining optimal performance and longevity. Cost versus benefit weighing the options. So, is immersion cooling worth it? Well, like most things in life, it depends. If you're a casual user who primarily uses their computer for browsing the web, checking email and light gaming, then the cost and complexity of immersion cooling might not be justified. Traditional air cooling is more than sufficient for these tasks. However, if you're a power user, a gamer who demands the absolute best performance, or a business looking to reduce energy costs in a data center environment, then immersion cooling might be a worthwhile investment. The key is to carefully weigh the benefits against the drawbacks and consider your specific needs and budget. The future of cool advancements and potential. The field of immersion cooling is constantly evolving, with researchers and engineers developing new fluids, materials, and techniques to improve efficiency, reduce costs, and make it more accessible to a wider audience. We're seeing advancements in dielectric fluids with better heat transfer properties, as well as more compact and user-friendly immersion cooling systems. As technology continues to advance and the demand for faster, more powerful computing grows, immersion cooling is poised to play an increasingly important role in shaping the future of electronics. From gaming PCs to data centers and beyond, the potential applications for this revolutionary cooling method are vast and exciting. Conclusion: a balanced perspective on immersion cooling. In conclusion, immersion cooling is a fascinating and rapidly developing technology with the potential to revolutionize the way we cool our electronics. It offers significant advantages in terms of cooling efficiency, noise reduction, energy savings, and even performance gains. However, it's essential to acknowledge the drawbacks, including cost, complexity, and maintenance requirements. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to embrace immersion cooling depends on your individual needs, budget, and technical expertise. As with any emerging technology, it's crucial to carefully weigh the pros and cons before taking the plunge. But one thing's for sure, immersion cooling is a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless pursuit of pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of technology.